You sit down to work, your task feels difficult, and within 2 seconds, your hand reaches for your phone. And you don't even realize you did it. You think you're just taking a small break, but you're doing exactly the opposite of building a strong mind. You're training your brain to automatically run away from difficulty. And if you don't change this pattern, your emotions will always determine your actions. Why is it so difficult to maintain discipline when things get hard? You see, it's because most people have trained their mind to run away. They feel stress, so they skip the workout. They feel boredom, so they grab the phone. They feel pressure, so they avoid the task. Each time a task gets difficult, they run. Mental strength is the exact opposite. If I would ask you, what is this? What is mental strength? What would you tell me? We have this weird idea that mental strength means you never feel doubt or laziness or fear. And that is a misunderstanding. You feel the exact same difficult emotions as everyone else. Now, the only difference is that you stop running away from it. And that is the payoff. You become harder to pressure. You still get up and do your work while your mind is over there giving you every single reason to stay in bed. You have to stop treating difficulty like danger. Otherwise, you'll keep running away. You're training your mind to run away. The first rule is simple. Stop treating difficulty like danger. When you skip a workout after a hard day, the lack of exercise, it's not the real problem about that particular workout. The problem is that there is a quiet message that you send in that moment to yourself. You're teaching your nervous system that when things get hard, the easiest response is to run away. Psychologists who study avoidance learning, they describe this clearly. Avoidance is not something that you can do once. It is something that can be maintained, can be acquired. Basically, every time that running away from difficulty feels good, your brain becomes trained to run away from difficulty. And this trained response is what we call escape reflex. If you repeat it enough times, you start to make decisions influenced by that in every single dimension of your life. It shows up when you avoid the hard conversation with your partner because that tension is so uncomfortable, it feels unbearable. It shows up also when you sit down to work. You go there, you open a document, the first 2 minutes are kind of boring, so your hand goes, grab your phone, even before you even start working. And this also shows up when you abandon a new goal the moment it stops being exciting and it starts to feel like real work. You have to build the capacity to stay in the task while it is still hard. You don't need to be faking to enjoy that difficulty. You just need to stop letting that uncomfortable moment make the decision for you. So here's a sentence for you to use out loud. Okay, this is hard, but this is not dangerous. Knowing that it's not dangerous, however, this is not enough. Your brain needs to have proof. You have to prove to your brain that your promises are real. What happens when you keep breaking promises to yourself? The real damage is not the failed task. The real damage is that you're teaching your brain to stop believing your own words. This is why I don't like positive thinking. It fails. Once you break trust with yourself, simply telling yourself, I am disciplined, this doesn't work anymore. Your brain stops listening to your thoughts and starts to watch your behavior. If you constantly delay hard tasks, your brain learns that your plans are fake. It learns that you will only act for real when external pressure forces give you no other option. Do you understand that? You don't build self-trust by telling yourself that you are so disciplined. That doesn't work. You build it by watching yourself Do the thing that you said that you would do. Your actions become your identity. If you keep avoiding the hard parts, your mind learns that quitting is your default. If you keep one promise after pressure, you discover that you can act even when you don't feel like it. You have to give your brain evidence that your promises are real. And that evidence only comes from doing something that is difficult. Wake up when your alarm rings. Delete that angry text. Look the person in the eye, have a conversation that you have been avoiding. Finish your task. Don't procrastinate. Start small. But most importantly, make the proof real. If you want to have some help building these execution systems, you can go to the link arata.se/dawn. We're going to be working together to move your plans from intention to reality. Let's put that sequence into practice. Okay, keep one small promise to prove that you are in control. You don't have to wait tomorrow to start. The third, most important step is that you have to make it practical. Watching videos about discipline will not give you discipline. You just have to choose one small promise today. Make it specific enough that you can prove whether you did it or you didn't. Please don't say, I will work hard. This is not an emotion. You have to say, I will sit in my desk for 30 minutes with my phone in another room. Because your urge to stop will happen. You will want to quit eventually, but you feel the discomfort and you will continue in your task anyway. That's how you do your promise. You do it because you are watching yourself. Every time you keep a promise, you are weakening the escape reflex and you're strengthening that person that you want to become, the person you are becoming. That is how you build a mind so strong that it scares people, not because you're loud or aggressive, but because people notice when you stop letting your emotions take control of your actions. The problem is not that you're weak. The problem is that you have trained an escape reflex. Every time life feels uncomfortable, your brain tries to avoid that situation, but nobody's born completely immune to fear, doubt, laziness. You feel the same struggle as everyone else, but you can learn to stay in your task. The process is quite straightforward. You name the difficulty and keep one small promise. Now, when the difficulty of the task no longer is choosing you or your next action, your pressure has less control of your own behavior. And every time you do this, you're creating real proof. You're training yourself to keep your promises, even when you don't feel like it. That's it. Prove it once and prove it again. You don't have to be fearless. You just need to be somebody who stops running away. So let's work together. I'll teach you how to move from intention to execution. You can go to the link arata.se/dawn.